In this episode of Fictional Hangover, we talk about respecting Arnold Schwarzenegger, the logistics of corpse storage and delivery, how we love Swiss cheese, and booyah, it's the 90s, yo, wear a pantyhose. What a hoot! In our discussion of Silent Night by RL Stine. What a hoot! It's a hoot.
It's a hoot.
It's a hoot.
It's a hoot.
It's a hoot. It's a hoot.
It's a hoot.
Hey everybody, welcome to Fictional Hangover, a podcast about young adult and new adult, and sometimes other books, series, authors, voice actors, and illustrators that is full of spoilers. I'm Amanda.
And I'm Claire, and today we're going to discuss Silent Night by RL Stine.
Standard disclaimer. If you haven't read this book, you've had plenty of time. You've had plenty of time to read this book, friends, because it came out in 1991.
Whoa.
Please remember that Fictional Hangover is all about spoilers. If you haven't read and don't want to be spoiled, stop listening to us and go read the book. Then come back. If you haven't done this but want to pretend that you have, or if you don't care about spoilers, or if you just like the show so much that you don't care about any of that, which is, I think, where we probably all are in this episode, then listen up. I don't see anyone just being like, you know what? I can't listen to this episode of Fictional Hangover. I really need to go back in time and read Silent Night. I hope I can get my hands on a copy of it because it doesn't really exist anywhere.
We do have some listeners that read along with us, which is lovely.
It is lovely.
They'll listen to an episode after they've read the book.
Yes.
Because they take the spoiler alert very seriously. Which
They
we appreciate.
do.
So
Yes.
we do appreciate that a lot.
We do.
But yeah, I think when we do the Goosebumps ones and the R.L. Stine Fear Streets and all these ones from the 90s, I think they're an exclusion. They're excluded.
I would like to hope so. I mean, some of them we can get on Hoopla, like when we did our 300 episode and it was Choose Your Own Adventure vampires. Like, that one was available on Hoopla, so anyone could read it along with us, but we couldn't find this one anywhere. We had to read physical copies of this one, so...
Yeah, it was like
you're gonna have to visit your local library.
eBay or local library. Mine, I actually think, is a fresh print.
Mine, it looks like a new version of it, too.
Yeah. Which is nice. It means it's not falling apart.
Yes. But
there's 3 books in the trilogy, but the 3rd book's ridiculously expensive, so don't even go there.
Yeah. Speaking of that, I had an adventure getting my copy of this book. I ordered it online, and I got book 2 instead. And I contacted the seller, and they were like, you know what? It's not even worth it. It's not even worth it to send it back. You just keep it. And I was like, I just wanted you to know that you sent me the wrong one.
So watch this space. Next year we'll be doing Silent Night 2.
Silent Night 2, yes. I mean, we should already...
That gives me an entire source set.
You know what? I can read it and then send it to you.
That's very true.
We got plenty of time.
Are we that prepared?
We might be for once in our lives. Very prepared.
Excuse me. This year, I will say, we have had to do a lot of pre-preparation and a lot of organisation because of, life.
Yes.
And, there was one point, I think all the August episodes, bar one, were recorded like 2 months in advance.
Yeah, it was insane.
But we did it.
We did do it.
We're awesome. High fives.
Yes. Yes.
Thank you for not leaving me hanging.
I wouldn't dare. All right. Should we get into this?
Yeah.
Our Christmas
give me some background
episode?
information. Let's go into the time machine and see if you've got some background information.
I have some background information, but shockingly, this doesn't go all the way back in time to the 90s. It actually only goes back to 2015.
Oh, okay.
And this was an interview with Cape Cod Times. And the interview is called Everything You Were Too Scared to Ask. And this interview was really fun. And I read several other interviews with R.L. Stine. And this actually came up more than once in more than one interview. But the person, he was asked, what do you think your bloodiest book is? And I'm going to start reading his response. I'm going to be like, Amanda, why are you reading this? It doesn't have anything to do with this book. But don't worry, we get around to it. Remember that one scene from the first horror when the boy puts his hand down the garbage disposal and somebody turns it on? People bring that up to me all the time. So I thought, oh, I want to read that. That sounds horrible.
Yeah.
But then he goes on to say, and they bring up Reva Dalby, who's the real horrible girl in Silent Night. She's the rich girl who's haunting the department store. Somebody put a pin in her lipstick and she goes to put on lipstick and she cuts her lips up. People bring that up to me a lot. That came up in several interviews about everyone talking about this needle in the lipstick. And as an avid lipstick wearer, it did give me some panic.
I read that scene and went, oh, Amanda's not going to like that.
No.
You know, that shows that it's like going to the toilet in the middle of the night. You look before you leave. Mm-hmm.
Yes. And luckily, a lot of my lipsticks aren't that, like, crank out, tubey kind. It's, it's more like it's in a tube and it's got a brush.
Yeah, like, I was going to say it like that, but obviously this is an audio medium.
Right.
Like a lip gloss.
Yeah, like a lip gloss.
Yeah.
But much more permanent.
Nicer and less sticky.
Than lip gloss. Yeah.
And yeah.
Yes.
Lip gloss is so 90s. Yo.
It really is. It really
it's like,
really is.
I'm just so... I'm so great now because I got a lip gloss.
Yeah.
I'm so good.
Yes. Yes. Good job. Good job.
This is actually a lip gloss.
What are your initial thoughts with this one?
Yo!
Booyah! Yo!
Booyah! Yo! Still remember the discussion about calling it Booyah. It's a 90s yo.
It had to be done.
I did. I love these old 90s horrors from when we were teenagers. Because, like, that was my introduction to horror.
Yes. Back
in the 90s. With Goosebumps and Fear Street. RL Stine. Christopher Pike.
Mm-hmm.
Loved me some Christopher Pike. They were just... I thought it was nice to come to a Christmas one.
Yeah, I enjoy it. I've decided, which this isn't really a decision that anyone would not expect me to have come to, but I'm not gonna read a cozy Christmas book or like a Hallmark style thing. Like, it's got to be horror. I refuse to cozy. I know. Look at your face. It's so shocked. But I can't do it. I have no desire to read anything that's sweet and wholesome and cozy. I hate it. So, yay for bad 90s horror Christmas. It's everything I've ever wanted.
Well, exactly. Rom-coms are not your thing.
They're really not.
They're not. They're really, so really let's not torture ourselves with them. Let's watch other people be tortured with tinsel.
I think that's amazing. Tortured with lipsticks and... mannequins.
Yes.
Yeah.
I did go back and have a look at Fictional Hangover archive at the Christmas episodes, like where it's actually Christmas themed.
I really appreciated that post that was shared on Fictional Hangover with all of our Christmas episodes. However, I did notice that horrible one that started our Christmas adventure together didn't have an episode link. Just don't share that one. That book was so bad.
The temptation, well, if I'm honest, it's because it's an old link that we've still got on our shortcuts. And I was going to put a new link on there, but I was like, you know what, if anybody's interested, they can search it out themselves.
I don't think anyone's interested in it.
No, it's a bad book.
It was not a good book. It was not a good book. But it did introduce our love for Waffle House.
It was it was us support my that was the only
Yeah.
good thing about it, is Waffle House.
Yeah.
It was a redeeming feature, but
Except for also that I went to a Waffle House shortly after recording that episode wearing a foil bonnet.
and that picture is still your profile ID on my phone contact
I hate
list.
it. Why? Oh, that's horrible.
Oh, I love it.
wow.
I love it. I
That
have an
was-
actual bonnet
that
now
was
as well.
So, it's not made of aluminum foil, so.
It's not, but I can coat it in aluminum foil.
Oh, okay.
It might be next time I go to a Waffle House. Whenever I go to a Waffle House.
Yes, the first time you go to Waffle House.
Yeah, I've been to a Pancake House, but not a Waffle House. No, that's the
Sounds
dream. Christmas miracle, come on,
That's the
Waffle
dream.
House, you
One
can do
day.
it.
Waffle House, just sponsor us, just once, just one episode.
Yeah,
That's all we want.
yeah. Sponsor
That's all
me
we
to go to
want.
Arkansas. Do
Yes.
waffles.
Yes.
And hash browns.
And
Obviously.
hash browns. It's very important. Okay.
Anywho,
Anywho, I think we should dig into this summary.
it's not going to be as long as like last week's
No,
Iron Flame
last
by a long
week's-
shot.
But I will like everyone to notice that we joked that the episode was going to be 2.5 hours long, and through the magic of editing, it is exactly 2 hours and 30 minutes long.
Bravo, bravo,
Thank you.
bravo.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I have
Good guess on my
powers.
part, good editing on your part.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Riva Dalby is an entitled pain in the ass.
Yeah, she is.
End of summary. All right. Let's move on
Dun,
and
dun,
talk
dun.
about things. That's it. That's all you need to know. She has a job at Dalby department store at the perfume counter, but job is a loose term. As you see, my friends, she doesn't seem to care about her career at all. She spends her day thinking rude thoughts about the customers when she isn't blatantly ignoring them. And don't forget, she's also rude and obnoxious to her supervisor, who wears men's suits with
Nothing wrong with
huge
that.
shoulder pads.
Nothing
I
wrong
know.
with that.
I was like, that's my style.
That was
That's my
amazing.
style. I want to wear that outfit. Oh, you know, what's really the point, though? Why should she do anything that she doesn't want to do? Because her daddy owns the store. This is every teenage girl that I've ever hated. Anyway, it's 2 weeks until Christmas. So Riva only has 2 weeks of boredom to get through. Turning to the cosmetic mirror on the counter, Riva applies her lipstick. But soon she's a bloody mess because someone, hearkening back to the background info, has put a needle in her lipstick. But who would want to hurt Riva? Oh my god, who would want to hurt me? I'm so great. Literally everyone.
Yeah,
Everyone, because she's the worst.
including us.
Yes.
Yeah, we're on that list. Okay, 2 weeks earlier, Riva pulls her car over and looks at Hank Davis, her soon-to-be ex-boyfriend, like, immediately soon. She breaks up with him then and there. Hank has a bit of a temper, something Riva kind of liked before, but she doesn't want him to turn on her now. This does not stop her from being cruel. Despite Hank asking why, Riva coldly opens the car door and kicks him out without any explanation for the breakup. Harsh. Hank promises Riva will pay as she drives off, wishing him a happy holiday and heading to her father's department store. Since Riva's mom died, Riva meets her dad once a week so they can drive home together. Though she's been in the store loads when it's closed, it's never, ceases to creep her out. Like right now! Ah, look! A strange man! Eep! Ah!
Eee! Ah!
Murderer, 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 murderer.
Please be a murderer. It's not a murderer, friends. It
No.
is a mannequin. God, She's so fucking stupid. It's a department store. There's mannequins all over the fucking place.
She's such an idiot.
It's horrible. A little breathless from her scare, Riva heads up to the executive level, where she does bump into a real person, Mr. Wakely, the head of security. A moment later, Riva's father explains he is the ex-head of security. He just got fired for drinking on the job, and he isn't the only employee lost that week. Santa quit. There have been several electrical issues in the store, as well as problems at other branches. Riva doesn't care. Just before they get ready to leave, Mr. Dalby tells Riva there are some jobs available for anyone interested at school. Excellent. There's a guy Riva plans on stealing, and a job could bring some excellent opportunities to get close to him.
At home, Riva calls Mitch Castellona and offers him a job, which he gratefully accepts, but she doesn't expect him to ask if there's also one for his girlfriend, Lissa. Riva is unimpressed by Lissa, considering her plain and boring and in her way. But because Riva enjoys being a garbage person, she tells Lissa sure, and also she needs to wear her absolute best outfit, as she'll be on the Chanel perfume counter. She's actually going to be in the stockroom. What a hoot! Ugh.
It's such a hoot.
Later,
it's such a hoot.
It's such a hoot.
Such a hoot.
I wanted to slap her every time she said that.
She's so
It's
horrible.
for a laugh.
Oh.
Oh my god, it's a laugh. I'll do it for a laugh. Ugh. A few moments later, Riva's cousin Pam calls, asking if there are any available jobs at the department store. And again, Riva's garbage attitude slimes through, as she tells her cousin no, and with a laugh, because it's such a hoot, hangs up. Pam knows her cousin is lying and would love to pay her back.
Pam is pissed. She doesn't know why Riva hates her, but she does. Pam entertains picking up the phone and calling Riva out for her lies, or telling her the whole of Shady Side High actually hates her. But she doesn't. We all wish that she would have, though. Deciding that even though she'd love to talk to her boyfriend, Foxy, she'd best not interrupt him doing a school project. So Pam calls her friend Mickey Wakely instead. He's going to the 7-Eleven to meet Clay Parker, so Pam says she'll meet them there. Mickey and Clay are getting snacks when Pam arrives. At the register, the cashier tells Mickey and Clay to empty their pockets, convinced that they're stealing. Look, Clay looks kind of like a shitbag with, like, his greaser hairdo. I'm pretty sure he would be stealing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, despite their protest, the cashier shouts to the back for someone to call the cops. Clay grabs the cashier by his shirt front and slams him into the register before vaulting over the counter and grabbing the cashier again and repeatedly bashing him into the register.
Bloody hell.
Police sirens can be heard approaching the store.
It's a bit of an extreme reaction.
Yes, jeez.
Pam and Mickey make a dash for the exit, Claire following behind. As they dive into Pam's dad's car, the police sirens are nearly on top of them. Finally, Claire is able to get the sticky engine to turn over as the police cruiser enters the lot. But he guns it and they're off. The police follow, but Claire's driving is wild and he manages to lose them and drive them to his house. Thank goodness the license plate fell off last week, otherwise it'd be in real trouble. As they're reliving the wild ride, Claire pulls a jar of dip from his pocket that he stole from the 7-Eleven. Despite actual crime, it was the most fun they've had in ages. Mickey is down because his dad lost his job at Dalby's, because his dad was Mr. Wakely, the head of security.
Yeah.
If you haven't picked up.
Yeah.
And then Pam finds out her suspicions are true, that Riva is a big fat liar, and there are jobs at the store. Pam swears she's going to get her cousin.
Driving home from a subpar visit to the health club, Riva spots Rob Spring, a giant Labrador of a human who is too fat for her to date. Riva pulls over and offers Rob a job at her dad's store, which he gratefully accepts. Because Riva is incapable of doing anything nice at all, she tells Rob his job will be in public relations and that he needs to dress professionally, even though he'll be playing Santa and have to deal with the parade of sticky kids. Claire, it's a hoot. That is such a hoot.
Is it a hoot?
That is such a hoot.
Such a hoot.
That's such a hoot.
Such a laugh.
It's so funny. It's so funny. It's such a hoot. Yeah. Later, at home, and having just finished putting her little brother to bed, someone knocks at her door. It's Hank. He's been trying to call her. He heard about the jobs and would like one. Given their breakup, this is a really difficult favor to ask. Riva laughs in his face. Hank gets mad and makes to grab Riva, but Riva whistles for King, the family's Doberman attack dog, who goes straight for Hank. With glee from the porch, Riva watches King go for Hank, but calls him off before Hank is injured. Disgusted and defeated, Hank goes back to his car, swearing he'll make Riva pay. What a laugh! It's such a hoot! It's such a hoot.
It is!
Oh my god, he almost just got mauled by a dog. It's so funny. Oh my god.
It's 8:30 Saturday morning and the new recruits are in the staff lounge at Dalby's. Riva is taking great delight and Lissa in her smart outfit, ready to work the stockroom, and is her usual unpleasant fat-shaming self to Rob, who walks in carrying the Santa suit. The stockroom supervisor is clearly sick of Riva. As she leaves to head to the perfume counter, Riva makes sure Mitch and Lissa aren't assigned the same areas, and isn't subtle about it. On the way, someone grabs her and pulls her into a storage closet. It's Hank. Supposedly, it's revenge for the other night. Turns out, Hank got a job at Dalby's too. He's working security and will be watching the monitors. As she leaves, Riva tells him to get over her and go away, but Hank just tells her he's watching. Creepy creep.
Meanwhile, at Mickey's house, Clay is playing with a knife.
Oh, that's a hoot.
As one does. It's such a hoot.
It's a hoot. It's a hoot.
It's such a hoot. As Mickey's dad is getting drunk in the kitchen after losing his job, and Pam bitches about her cousin.
Sounds like
There's
a good night.
no love lost for the Dalbys. Pam wants revenge against Riva. Literally fucking everyone wants revenge against this bitch. Mickey wants revenge for his dad. Clay has an idea to solve both their problems. Does it involve his knife?
Ooh.
No. They're gonna rob the department store. Wait, what?
What?
Clay knows the night guard, Maywood, and he wants in on the plan. Maywood will leave a back door unlocked and turn off the alarms, but they'll have to tie him up or knock him out for authenticity. And then they can go for a 5-finger shopping spree. All they need to do is pick up some stuff that Maywood wants. Mickey is interested, but Pam is reluctant to rob from her uncle. However, Clay is able to persuade her to at least help by being the getaway driver.
Riva is on the phone with Pam. In her opinion, Riva thinks Pam is poor and basic, and they should quit pretending to tolerate each other because they're family. From Pam's cold attitude on the phone, it seems like she's already starting to. Already late, Riva gets ready for work, choosing a white cashmere sweater to entice Mitch with. Ooh, ooh, white cashmere, ooh.
Oh.
It's already been 2 weeks since he started working at Dalby's. Riva has subtly and unsubtly flirted with him, so she decided today is the day she will make a move on him. Alone in the stockroom, Riva corners Mitch and grabs his face in a kiss. Obviously, Lissa walks in and is hurt by what she sees. When Lissa runs off, Mitch moves to follow while Reva tries to hold him back. She hopes Hank saw the kiss on his security monitors, and he just so happens to be walking by, glaring at Reva, who has draped herself over Mitch, who's still trying to go after Lissa. Once this debacle, farce, ridiculous situation, you name it, is over, Reva actually goes to work. I mean, well, she goes to the perfume counter.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Her boss leaves to go on lunch and expecting her to help customers.
No, what?
It's a hoot!
Such a hoot! Such a hoot!
Such a hoot! Instead, Reva does not help the customers. Shocking no one. She opens a gift someone left for her, which is a heavy bottle of liquid. Oh, what's inside? Thinking it's an expensive perfume, Reva opens the bottle, and when she realises it's actually a bottle of blood, Reva drops it, smashing the glass counter, the bottle, and causing the blood to explode all over her lovely white cashmere sweater. Wah, wah.
Wah, wah.
But it's a hoot!
We need to come... It's such a hoot. Oh my god, it's such a hoot. We need to come back and revisit this, because where did evil villain get a bottle of blood in a beautiful decorative glass, or crystal bottle with a little perfume scooty at the end? Where?
Let's revisit all of the tragic things that happened to things that happened to Reva.
Yeah,
we'll come back to it in our discussion.
Okay. Surprisingly, even though she's literally covered in blood, Reva doesn't freak out loud. But in her head, she's screaming. She notices a card on the floor, picks it up, and rips it open. "Happy holidays from a friend" is written on it. Stomping to the employee elevator, Reva is sure Hank is to blame and is going to get his ass fired. On the executive level, Hank is actually installing VCRs for the monitors. They'll be able to record the footage now. Whoa. His protests that it wasn't him to send Reva the blood fall on deaf ears. She's determined to see her daddy. Unfortunately for Reva, he is in an important meeting and not to be disturbed. This takes the wind out of her sails, so she decides to head home, abandoning the perfume counter. 100%. As Reva's walking past the balcony, machine gun fire can be heard. She dives for the floor just as Mr. Dalby comes out of his office. Thinking his blood-soaked daughter has been shot, he promptly passes out. Thankfully, a worker is able to explain that it's Christmas lights poppin', not gunfire, caused by the electrical problems the store is having. Whew! Reva hasn't been shot.
Oh.
Yay!
Do you know what would be a hoot?
Reva being shot.
Yes! Well, by now, Reva is extremely paranoid. Her lip has been splashed. She's been sent a vial of blood in a fancy bottle, and the electrical fault with the lights has her on edge. So when she's followed home by a white car, Reva thinks she's being rich kid kidnapped for ransom. She's not. The driver broke her taillight and is just being a good citizen. Honestly, what could be next?
Pam, Mickey, and Clay are heading to Dalby's to rob the place. Pam is a nervous wreck and doesn't think she can do it, even though she's just the getaway driver. As Clay goes over the plan one more time, started electronics in the back, and work toward the loading bay where the car will be, Pam declares she's coming in. She won't take anything, just wait inside. Fine. They pull up to Dalby's, and as they approach the door, Clay pulls a gun out of his pocket.
Wow.
Not a dog.
No.
Nah. He says it's in case there are problems. Nah.
No.
By now, we all know that Clay is the actual problem, especially when he shoots a security guard who tries to stop them stealing VCRs.
Whoa, escalation.
Yes. Pam had been spooked by the silent department store. Sure, someone was watching, and that seems to be true. And it wasn't Maywood, their contact. As Mickey and Clay were shopping, the security guard came up to them. Pam and Mickey ran, the alarms went off, and Clay shot the guy. At the loading dock, they run outside into the silent night.
Oh.
Unfortunately for them, Pam's car is gone.
Oh!
What a hoot! What a hoot! Such a hoot.
Such a hoot. Well, if you look a little to the right, you'll find Pam's car right there.
Oh, what a hoot.
They came out a different door.
It's
just a hoot. They came out a different door.
It's a hoot. Such a hoot.
Such a hoot. They pile into the car and book it out of the parking lot before the police cars enter with sirens blaring. Somehow Pam takes Mickey and Claire home and somehow gets herself home. The next day, a guilt-ridden Pam is listening to the radio. They report the murder of a Dalby security guard and theft of $25,000 from the safe. Hang on, that's not right. They didn't take anything. Like, literally, they took nothing. Especially not from a safe. Pam calls Clay. He's heard the report too. He says the whole thing is just wrong. He didn't have any bullets in his gun. It was just for show. Someone else was at Dalby's. The police, however, will never believe them. At least that's what he says.
Yeah, sure. Mm-hmm. Monday morning, Reva is catching a lift to work with her dad, who's stressed because of the murder, the robbery, and, most importantly, the insurance company.
Oh, the true evil.
Mr. Dalby heads to the executive level while Reva heads to the perfume counter. It's a slow day. Few customers are there for her to ignore and or judge. The police have part of the electronics department cordoned off, and crime scene technicians are working. At lunch, Mitch comes to talk to Reva. Lissa broke up with him, so, he thought they could, go to a movie or something. Reva, thinking Mitch is a wimp for trying to run after Lissa after her planned incursion, tells him no and walks away. Mitch is pissed. I bet he says, I'm gonna make that Reva pay, because that's what everyone else says she's gonna pay.
Are you sure? It could be what a hoot.
That's such a hoot. She's gonna pay. She's gonna pay for that hoot.
Yes.
Back at the perfume counter, Pam is on the phone, but Reva tells one of the salesgirls to lie to Pam about her being there because she doesn't want to hear Pam's sob stories about being poor. There's also been a package delivery for her. A giant, unmarked carton closed with a big red bow. Carefully, Reva opens it and looks inside to find a folded-up human corpse.
Yay! Just what I always wanted for Christmas.
Such a hoot!
What a hoot! Santa you! Oh my god! Yes!
It's such a
what a hoot! Totes a hoot.
Hoot!
Yeah, it's not a corpse though. It's a mannequin.
Fuck.
It's just very lifelike. Everyone saw Reva scream, so she's embarrassed and runs off. I mean, she's running away from the perfume counter again. That is not a rare sighting. At Mickey's house, Mickey, Claire and Pam are stressed about the murder-robbery, even though they committed neither murder nor robbery. Claire insists it will all be fine. It's been 3 days already and the police haven't knocked at their door. Well, tell that to the creep on the phone who's just called, telling them he knows what they did and he wants $10,000. Gasp! A blackmailer. A couple of days later at Pam's house, she gets another blackmailer phone call. However, this time Foxy is there, so she confesses everything to him. Foxy's first instinct is to contact the police, which Pam refuses to do. Instead, they go see Mickey and Claire. Claire is pissed and starts threatening the blackmailer's life. Pam is sure he means it too.
Yeah. This is not a hoot.
It's not a hoot. It's a serious threat.
Yeah. Thursday morning, Reva decides to confront Hank about the not funny practical jokes. Hank is already at the security monitors when she gets to work, so she drags him into her daddy's office to talk. Reva admits her remarks may have been unnecessarily cruel and hurtful, but he needs to stop with the jokes. Only her jokes are funny. Only her jokes are a hoot. Hank has no idea what she's talking about and points out that no one likes Reva. She has literally no friends, so it could be anyone pulling the pranks. Reality hits Reva that she is, in fact, a garbage person.
It's not a shock.
No, not at all. Mm-mm.
No, this is not some grand revelation. We all
knew.
Nope.
We all knew. She's horrible.
Anyway, that night, Pam decides to walk the few blocks to see Foxy. On the way, she is grabbed by the blackmailer creep who pulls her to some bushes and tells her not to look at him. Which, I'm sorry, really? Really? Don't look at me! I am your blackmailer! I'm sorry, that's just ridiculous.
Yeah, like, wear a mask or something.
Oh my god, a scarf over your face? Something. A hood.
Yeah.
A hood.
A fake mustache.
Yeah, just draw one on if you don't have a sticky. Anyways.
Right. Or just get like a pantyhose.
Yes!
Just pull a pantyhose down. I'm sure it's the 90s. Booyah, it's the 90s, yo. Your mama's got some pantyhose.
That sounded like the beginning of a rap. Anywho, he again demands $10,000, and again Pam tells him they never killed the guard or robbed the store, so they don't have the money to buy his silence. As Pam is moving away from the creep, she sees his face because he's an idiot.
He is not wearing a pantyhose.
He's not wearing pantyhose. He tells her that was a bad idea and pushes her into traffic, but thankfully it's late at night and the traffic is light. Foxy comes by then, pulls Pam up, and she tells him she knows the blackmailer.
No. Reva is actually on time for work. Yes, wow. We are shocked too. She's also thinking kind thoughts about Hank and how he genuinely tried to console her, so maybe he isn't so bad. In the store, Reva finds Mitch and a partially Santa-suited up Rob beating the living shit out of each other. They don't stop until the stockroom supervisor pulls them apart and tells them to get to work. They also don't answer Reva's questions. Later, after finally fulfilling her promise to her little brother to take him to see Santa, Reva returns to the perfume counter to find another gift-wrapped carton.
Yay, Santa's made!
With caution, she opens this one, determined not to embarrass herself with drama queen antics. When she looks inside, fully expecting another mannequin, she finds Mitch dead with a knife between his shoulder blades and blood pooling at the bottom of the carton.
Huh. I have questions.
What are your questions?
How big is this freaking carton?
It's really
how
big.
Did they get him in there?
I don't know.
Santa's magic.
Did they stab him after putting him in the box? Because otherwise there would be blood all over the outside of the box as well.
I think we need to discuss this in detail later.
We do. We need to discuss this.
Let's move on to what Reva's can't stop thinking about. And that is Mitch being crammed and dead in the carton. Neither can we, Reva, to be honest.
Yeah.
She wanted to apologise to him. Really? Really? I call bullshit. Finally, Reva falls into deep sleep. only to wake suddenly at 2:30 a.m. She knows who killed Mitch. Meanwhile, Pam is demanding Claire tell her the truth. Did he kill Mitch because he was their attempted blackmailer? Claire won't answer. He just gives her an eating shit kind of smile he would probably describe as enigmatic. Mickey is struggling to believe Claire didn't do it. Eventually, Claire says that he didn't kill Mitch. When Claire gets close to blows because Pam calls him a liar, Mickey's dad, who is very, very drunk, kicks them out to sort themselves out. Claire walks off with that stupid smile plastered on his face. Yeah, Pam does not believe him one bit.
Saturday morning, Riva is dressed and ready for work. Even her dad comments that she'll actually be on time today. Riva isn't bothered about the perfume counter. Wait, shit. What? She's not? She's not going to work?
Shock.
She has a theory on who the murderer is and wants to look into it. At the store, Riva and Mr. Dobby head to the security room where Hank has just arrived. At Riva's request, he pulls up the Santaland footage. Riva points out that the Santa on the monitor had to use a pillow down his suit in the footage. Her little brother Michael even commented on it. But Rob doesn't need a pillow because she literally says he's a real chub.
She's such a dick.
He's a real chub. He does not need to wear a pillow because he is a real chub. Rob was going at it with Mitch hard the morning of the murder. Mr. Dobby calls the police, who come to the store and arrest Rob in full Santa regalia, complete with child on his lap. They reveal to the many, many, many children in Santaland that this Santa is a fake. Good job, cops. Way to go. As Rob is being taken away, Pam calls to him, calling him Foxy. Foxy Rob shouts that he did it all for Pam to get back at Riva. He did what, though? Did he do a murder? Did he convince Mitch?
He did a hoot.
He did a hoot. He did one hoot.
He did one hoot. Singular hoot was had. Riva finishes her shift and does, get this, you ready for this? Actual work. The biggest shock of the entire story.
That's the surprise.
She did actual work.
Actual work.
Yeah. Since she travelled in with her dad, he had to leave for meetings, Riva starts walking to the bus stop. Then a figure steps out from the shadows. It's Pam, and she wants to talk. In her car, Pam explains that Foxy Rob was beating Mitch to within an inch of his life because Mitch was attempting to blackmail her for reasons that will no doubt come out later. When the security cameras showed someone covering for Foxy Rob, it wasn't so he could kill Mitch, it was so he could see Pam. She's not been great lately. Foxy Rob tampered with Riva's lipstick, sent her the blood perfume and the mannequin, but he's not a murderer. Riva and Pam seem to have a better understanding of one another after the conversation. Pam offers to drive Riva home, but on the way, Riva remembers she left her bag at the store, so they turn around. Once inside, Riva feels that usual sense of creepiness. But the tree lights are on, and the music is playing too. So, she works through it. I'm sorry, but having the tree lights on and the music in an empty department store, I think would actually be creepier than
That's
if it was just pitch
creepier.
black.
That's creepier.
Yeah.
Yes.
So she heads up to the executive lounge, where she finds Hank is still at the security desk. Oh no, that's not Hank. That's not Hank at all. That's Mr. Wakely, Mickey's dad. And he's got a gun. Ooh.
Oh no.
What a hoot.
It's not a hoot.
It's not a hoot.
It's not a hoot.
Oh,
no, it's
with
not.
Riva being such a horrible garbage person, I'm getting confused over what is a hoot and what isn't a hoot.
Right. What is and what is not a hoot.
Yeah.
Mr. Wakely confesses to being at the store the night of the robbery. he and Maywood were going to use unsuspecting teens as a diversion for the other guard while they robbed the safe. When Mr. Wakely saw the guard pull a gun on his own son, he did what he felt he needed to do and shot him. He found out that Mitch saw Mickey and his friends at the store and was blackmailing them, but he couldn't have that. So he got rid of Mitch too, hiding his body in a random carton. Reva realizes it must have been the same mannequin carton that was redelivered and that it wasn't done on purpose. However, now would be an excellent time to get away from the murderer. Reva makes a run for it, trying to get to her dad's office, but Mr. Wakely follows and takes shots at her. Eventually, she ends up in front of the balcony over the rest of the store. Mr. Wakely makes a dive for her, but misses and goes over the edge, landing in the Christmas tree, shorting out the lights. And as they pop, 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 Mr. Wakely is electrocuted.
Oh, it's not funny. It is, though. What a hoot!
You know what? That is a hoot.
It is a hoot. Oh,
we've
identified an actual hoot.
We have discovered a hoot. Hank comes running up. He saw everything on the monitors and tells Reva it was all recorded, including the confession. Thanks, VCRs.
Technology man.
Thanks.
Reva, Hank and Foxy Rob are huddled on a bench in the police station waiting for Pam. Foxy Rob won't have any charges against him. Reva feels like the pranks are what she deserved for being a garbage person. When Pam eventually comes out, she tells them that she is in her parents' custody for trespassing. Claire's hearing is the following week, and Mickey's will be after his father's funeral. In the meantime, Reva revels in her feelings. The icy walls she built up after her mom's death are cracked and falling down. She holds Hank's hand as they leave, but best of all, she gives her cousin a hug, which is reciprocated. All the while, snow gently falls on the silent night. What a hoot.
What a hoot! It's such a hoot.
Such a hoot.
It's a hoot.
It's a hoot. Oh, dear me.
Do we have any announcements to make today, or can we
Yes.
We do? We do?
Yes.
What's our announcement?
We are going to do it again. We are going to announce one more time our new book club series starting in January, which is going to be the last week of the month. It's going to be the Parasol Protectorate series by Gail Carragher. So that includes Soulless, Changeless, Blameless, Heartless, and Timeless. So
you know what this is? It's the revival of Vampire Book Club.
Come and join us on Discord. All the links are all over the socials. We'll repost them again because why the heck is not? We love these books. We love Miss Gail. Miss Gail is amazing, and we are very much looking forward to talking about the Parasol Protectorate series. It's the first series. We've done the Custard Protocol. We've done the Finishing School. We've done nearly all of the mainstream shorts, but we haven't touched the series that started it all off. We are now.
We have not.
Last
Yay!
episode of the month. So the last Wednesday of the month will be our book club episode.
Yes, you've got plenty of time to read and discuss with us on Discord.
Yes. And that's the only real announcement that I think we have.
All right. There were some things that happened in this book that were not mentioned in the summary, and one of them is very, very important to me. As a human being, it really impacts me personally as a person. So there was a discussion in the book about Reva not wanting to go on a date. I believe it's with Hank. She does not want to go on a date with Hank to see an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie.
Oh, yes.
And, like, there was there was an actual quote. Yes, it is Hank. Once he'd punched his fist through a screen door because she refused to go to a dumb Arnold Schwarzenegger movie with him. And can I tell you that when I read this portion of the book, which was very, very near the beginning, I believe it is when she is breaking up with Hank, even though she loves his violence a little bit, I lost everything. And I had to immediately put the book aside, do some research to discover what Arnold Schwarzenegger movie Riva is trashing.
This does not surprise me one bit, because when we got to that section and I read it, I was like, oh my god, Amanda's going to be pissed. Because I think I literally was reading this the day after we'd been having an Arnold Schwarzenegger conversation as well.
I love that these pop up so frequently, the Arnold Schwarzenegger conversations. Okay.
Come on,
So,
then, what's your workings out?
My
Matt.
research reveals that book world wise, it's probably Terminator 2 Judgment Day.
What? One of the greatest movies.
I know, because that was released in July 1991, and this book was published in November of 1991. And I believe at this time in his career, RL Stine was writing at least 4 or 5 or 6 or 8 books a year. So
A day.
A day, yes. So also, I don't think that Riva would date anyone for more than 6 months. So it's November, December in this book.
Yeah.
I'm thinking it's Terminator 2. But if we're thinking R.L. Stine's writing, maybe he wrote this book the year before or some months before. So then he could potentially have been referring to Kindergarten Cop.
Oh, no, I don't think Hank would want to see Kindergarten Cop.
I don't think so either. But also, Claire, it could have been Total Recall. Both of those came out in 1990, which is probably more realistic to R.L. Stine's writing of the book, even though he did pump the books out like a literal machine. But if it's Total Recall, I don't know what I would do with myself. I will have lost all respect for Riva, which was 0 respect. I would have negative respect for Riva because Total Recall is probably my favorite Arnold Schwarzenegger movie of all time.
I'm genuinely like, I didn't have any respect for her at all.
No, she's horrible. And you know what? I'm sorry, everyone, that I just spent 5 minutes talking about Arnold Schwarzenegger, but I'm also not.
No, don't apologize. Take that apology back right now. Take it back.
Okay, I take it back. I mean,
we have had many Arnold Schwarzenegger movie conversations. Many. And that's just in the last couple of weeks.
We have.
But
right.
Terminator 2 Judgment Day is a seminal movie.
Yeah.
I mean, how often do you reference the thumb going into the molten? And, alone.
All the time.
Exactly.
All the time.
It's integrated into daily life.
It is.
Total Recall? How often?
Right?
How often? And I today, do you go, open your mind?
All the time.
All the time. These are two of the greatest movies ever.
Can I also please interject here with how often, when one has a headache, do they say, it's not a tumor? Which is, like, Kindergarten Cop. It's one of the best lines from Kindergarten Cop. It's not a tumor.
I'm disgusted.
I'm disgusted. I'm disgusted. Yeah.
Even more.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I know. It's horrible. She is horrible.
She is? Can't stand her.
Me neither.
I think I was actually on the first page. And I was like, at first paragraph, I hate you. I hate you. How am I supposed to have any... Am I supposed to have any sympathy or empathy for this character? I spent the entire time hoping she was going to be murdered.
Yeah, me too. Me too, constantly.
How has nobody actually murdered her yet?
That's my surprise.
Oh, okay.
If we can skip ahead for just a moment,
Yes.
I am genuinely shocked that no one has tried to murder her before.
She's just one of the most unlikable characters. I know she's supposed to be.
But yikes at how bad she is. Even though everything's a hit.
Ugh. I mean, that was getting on my wick. I know we're probably irritated listeners as well. But
I don't
for
care.
a laugh. Do you know what she reminded me of?
What?
She reminded me of Lydia Bennet from Pride and Prejudice. When she's constantly saying, "Oh, it's such a laugh! Oh, it's a laugh! Oh, it's such a funny! It's such a laugh!" And I'm like, Lydia, grow the fuck up. That's what it reminded me of. She's a Lydia Bennet, where she's just this immature, and she blames it on the fact that she's... We don't really cover it in the book too much. She does have a younger brother, Michael. We know that in the summary we do meet him once when she takes him finally to see Santa,
Right.
and that's when she works out. But she's constantly disregarding him, but then turning around saying, "Oh, we're so close. I'm like his mother figure now." And Mum just died within a couple of years, and then she says she went on emotional lockdown after that and became a bitch because her mum died. Oh, I'm struggling with that. I think she needs therapy.
Yeah,
definitely.
she had to get hard. I think the book said that she had to get hard after her mom
Which
died. Like,
is
why?
an uncomfortable phrasing. But yeah, I just... No, nothing. I was all the way through, I was going, please don't let this be redemption. Please don't let this be redemption. And you know what? Fucking redemption. Sometimes the bad guys do not need to be redeemed.
No. Ugh.
It was proper absent parent as well. 90s booyah, it's the 90s yo stereotype absentee parents, except the one who was drunk all the time and listening in and then decided to kill another person.
Right. I wonder about Mr. Wakely because he was drunk all the time drunk. I mean, he got fired for being drunk on the clock.
Yes.
So he's all the time drunk. Did he drive to the shopping center?
He's quite clearly a high-functioning alcoholic.
And he also drunkenly shot a guy while his son was right there?
But if you're high-functioning, then you're kind of like able to do certain things.
Yeah.
It's weird.
I don't know. I still don't think it's safe to drive drunk and
Oh no, it's not safe at all.
Use a firearm while
not
drunk.
in the least. Oh heck no, it's not safe. Not at all. Just because you're a high functioning alcoholic does not make it safe at all. No way, shape, or form.
Make it
he
okay.
should not be the head of security in that situation at all.
No, yeah.
But I do have questions, and this specifically
What are your
revolve
questions?
around the carton.
Yes.
Which is my surprise. So I'm going to jump ahead a little bit on that one since you have already. My surprise is...
I skipped way ahead.
Yeah, how big the carton was. Like, genuinely, what the heck? When I think carton, I think like milk carton. You know, a litre or two.
Yeah.
I don't think mannequin / teenage boy size. And Mitch is a swimmer. Was he? I think baseball. He did sport. He did a sport. I think it was swimmer.
He was a sport. Yeah.
He did a sport. So he was trim, muscular, tallish.
He had the V, I'm sure.
He had the V, yeah. So he was not a light person, and he will not have been a short person. So how big is this carton?
No.
Do you actually mean
I
don't get it.
think
How big is it?
I think carton I think carton was not the best word to choose. I
And
think
if it's that
box
big, why?
would have been more appropriate.
Yes, but if it's that big, why is it being brought on the department store shop front? It should have been put in the employee area, and somebody comes
Yeah.
over and says, Reva, there's a box out back
There's
for
a box
you.
for you.
Yeah, you wouldn't open it.
No.
Same with the small package of the vial of blood. You wouldn't have the delivery to the counter. It would have been in the employee area, or
Yeah.
it being Reva's dad's store, it would have been sent up to the dad to be delivered to her. It doesn't make any sense. Taking
Yeah.
phone calls, Pam calling the perfume counter to speak to Reva at work on the perfume counter. Is this just the 1990s showing through? Do I just not get it? Because
I
that
guess.
just seems dodgy.
Maybe, yeah.
I know it's fiction, but come on.
Right.
It's not like, it's realistic fiction.
Right.
So I'm questioning the reality
I'm gonna say that the gift deliveries to the perfume counter were obviously done on purpose. Like it was Foxy Rob doing it the first couple of times, and he's Santa. So it could be plausible for him to be lurking around delivering gifts to people. And also, maybe this is his first or second job and he doesn't know any better. But then when it's the third time and it's the box with the corpse in it, which we need to figure this out too, because she's talking about blood pooling at the bottom of it. It's got to be seeping through, because I can only imagine that this is just a cardboard box. So,
and if it's a wooden box, that's a pallet box. That's a lot heavier and harder to deliver.
And there's no way we're lugging that thing around the department store. So, did Mr. Wakely convince him to get in the box, and then he killed him in the box? I don't know.
No,
I don't know how this works.
No, logistically it can't be possible. He's got to have killed Mitch outside the box, and then put Mitch in the box, but then reinserted the knife. That's all I can think. But then where did the murder take place? Because there would have been blood somewhere. Because it's got to have happened in the department store. I can only imagine the murder's taking place. Maybe. He's like, hey, you know how much of a bitch Reva is, right? And Mitch is like, yeah, of course. She's the worst. And he's like, I know a really funny joke that we can play on her to get back at her for being such a bitch. And he's like, okay, yeah, I'm in on it. And he convinces him to get in the box, and he's gonna pop out like a surprise. And so then they work together. They take the box to the perfume counter, and then Mitch gets inside, and he's like, ha ha ha, this is gonna be so funny. And Mr. Wakeley's like, yeah, it's totally gonna be funny. Stab! And then he just closes the box and puts the lid on. And a bowl.
I think that's the only logistical way it could have happened. Because there would have been screaming. There would have been it would have been horrible. It would have been a horrible, horrible murder to have taken place.
Because the thing is, it specifically says in the book that Mr. Wakely must have just grabbed the first carton. I hate using the word carton.
Yeah.
But you grabbed the first carton he came across, and it just so happened to be the box that had the mannequin in that was delivery to Reva. So it's just coincidence that she gets it. I like my version better. But yes, I like your version better as well, because Reva deserves corpse delivery.
She does. And it's not often one can say that one deserves corpse delivery, but she
No,
does.
she does.
She does deserve corpse delivery.
Yeah. And the bottle. Where did Foxy Rob get the fancy bottle?
I don't know. Because
And you're working on a perfume counter. You're
Right,
surrounded by
yeah.
expensive perfumes.
maybe he just got one of those and emptied it out. But more importantly than where did he get the bottle was where did he get the blood?
Yes.
Whose blood is that? And
Whose blood
why
is-
does he have it? Is his family a vampire?
I think. I mean, one explanation could be a butcher, or another he murdered an animal,
Yeesh.
or he used his own blood, or he and Pam are into some kinky things. But I think the most logical is that he is a vampire.
I'm pretty sure he, or perhaps someone else in his household, is a vampire. Because
Yeah.
that would also explain the beautiful crystal vial that it will have no doubt come in.
There's definitely gothic undertones there.
Right? Because, I mean, it's not like Riva would not be so pleased to see it and think, oh, this is a beautiful perfume, if it was just in like a mason jar.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure that Foxy Rob and or someone in his family is a vampire. And that does not seem completely out of the realm of possibility for RL Stine.
No.
Though
'Cause, I
I'm
mean,
pretty
they're
sure
they all
Fear
tie
Street
together in
is
some way, shape, or form.
right. But I'm pretty sure Fear Street is more realistic fiction than
Yeah.
Goosebumps is. But you know what? It's
Not
fine.
for us. Not for us.
Right. Right. All vampires all the time. That's how
Yes.
everything is explained away in every book we've ever discussed. Vampires.
And we're talking about vampires next year. So book club
We
series.
are. We are.
Yeah, yeah. It was. There was this. There's loads of other narrative holes. This in the book. It's Swiss cheese.
It is. I like it though.
Oh, I enjoyed the heck out of it.
Right?
It
I mean,
was,
it's
you know-
cheese. We can't not love cheese, Claire. It's
Yes.
cheese.
We love cheese,
Yes.
and yeah, it was proper 90s nostalgia cheese.
Mm-hmm.
Does explain why R.L. Stine is able to crank out so many all the time, though. Because, yeah. I really, really wish Riva got more than just a few scares. That would have been the real hoot.
It would have been a hoot if she had been murdered.
I feel like saying, oh, want Riva, family wealth is not going to last long because department stores are all closing down. Wah, wah.
Wah, wah.
I feel sorry for the employees, like her supervisor and the stockroom supervisor.
Yeah.
They must just want to
Yeah.
fire her ass or kick her out,
Right.
but know that if they do that,
They
their job's
can't-
gone.
Yeah, because then they'll get fired.
And it's annoying because her dad knows she's a waste of space employee.
Yeah. Yeah, she really does.
And why was
mean, he
Pam
really does.
asking Riva for the job? Shouldn't she be calling her uncle?
Well, I mean, he did make her in charge of hiring her friends, which just seems grossly inappropriate.
It's very grossly inappropriate. That
Yeah.
would be the HR's job.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, fine. Tell them there's some jobs,
But
and
you
then
still
have like
should
a little
have
bit
to.
of a job fair.
Yeah, you should still have to like an interview and apply for them.
Yeah. But yeah, it's yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, there's some more of your Swiss cheese there. This is not actually how it works to get a job.
Yeah. There was things like, you know, when he mentions that the electricity's all going crazy, And is that literally the only payoff was to electrocute the guy at the end? And then, all
and
these
to have
other
the
branches,
machine gun pop sound.
Yeah, and all the other branches have got problems as well, but nothing came of that one. Unless,
yeah,
I haven't looked at I don't know what's Silent Night 2. I don't know if it's the same characters. It's a continuation, and there's going to be some mention.
It is. I think that it is. I think Silent Night is Riva's story. But, like, I just kind of wonder, I mean, all of these Fear Street books are set in this town of Shadyside, right? So
Yeah.
I just wonder if this is just saying, you know, they're the wealthy people in Shadyside, but Shadyside is still real shitty.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
you know, the dim and flickering lights, the carpet probably smells like pee. It's not a good department store.
Ooh. It's probably a 70s deco as well.
It could be.
But they're just getting VCRs, which is exciting.
They do have VCRs. That is important. And CD players and Walkmans.
I love my Walkman.
So many good things at this department store.
Anyways, did you have a favourite character?
Not Riva, for fuck's sake. Also,
shock.
Also, there's something else that I want to say, but like I don't know if it's appropriate.
Say it, and we'll. Go for it.
Okay, so, and this took place in the 90s too, so it's like prime time for it to begin happening. I'm pretty sure that Clay is gonna become a school shooter.
Oh, you know he has a manifesto.
He has to have one.
He is a person with a manifesto that makes fuck all sense.
I am concerned for everyone in Clay's life.
I am concerned for a lot of Shadyside.
Yeah. I mean, I'm concerned for Clay too. Obviously, something horrible has happened to him. I do appreciate that he seems to be like a 50s greaser type guy flipping a butterfly knife.
Yeah, but all I can see is that he's just suffering from stereotypical 90s parent neglect.
He's a latchkey kid, 100%.
And just because you're a latchkey kid does not give you the right to write terrible manifestos and become a mass murderer.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know, Claire, if I had a favorite character in this one.
Oh, I did not.
Maybe the supervisor. The supervisor with the shoulder pads who...
Now, was it the supervisor with the shoulder pads as your favourite character?
You know, I think it's going to be the supervisor because she was like, really? You're horrible and you need to be fired. But she couldn't do anything about it because it's her daddy's store. But I think I might like the supervisor with her shoulder pads coming in as a close second and third because there's two of them.
I may like the vampire who donated the blood. That might be my...
Yeah, that's also fine.
I mean, if I have to pick an actual person, possibly Foxy Rob, just so I can say Foxy Rob.
I do like Foxy Rob. I do.
I think he was probably the only person who was genuinely seemed like a nice person because he kind of thought he was friends with Reva and she just screwed him over. And he does try and protect and help Pam, and he does try to talk sense into Nikki and Pam about going to the police. So I feel like he's probably the only person who seems like a nice person.
I think he's the only person who's going to make it out of Shadyside and succeed in life.
Yeah.
And, you know, the stuff that he did, it was really just pranks. And Reva was playing pranks on everybody all the time. Hers were horrible and, like, set people up to be absolutely miserable. But that's a good way to get back at a practical joker is to, play practical jokes back on them. So, like, it could have been a ha-ha funny situation, and then years later, they could be like, Foxy Rob, do you remember that time that you put a mannequin in a box? Do you remember that time that you gave me a vial of your great Uncle Vampire's blood? And then we laughed about it and we had such a hoot. And then Foxy Rob would be like, yeah, but now I need to go because I'm an important businessman.
Yeah, I think the only thing that was not funny was the pin in the lipstick. That was a bit harsh.
That's pretty horrifying. I forgot about that one.
Actual violence.
You got me. You got me. That is pretty fucking horrifying.
That's not a prank.
No, you're right.
I think you would feel it before as soon as you put the lipstick on in contact.
Right.
You would feel the incision.
And also, like, how did he do that? Because I sincerely doubt that he had the tools to, melt a lipstick down and put a needle in and then reform the lipstick around it.
I was thinking about
this. If you just shove a needle... If you just shove a needle inside of a lipstick, it's going to look like there's a needle shoved inside of a lipstick.
No, I think it's like a sewing needle. So not like a needle with a tip, like a ball at the end, like a push pin or anything like.
Yeah, no, I assumed it was a sewing needle too.
So the ones I've got very, very thin, microscopically thin sewing needles, almost like I can't actually thread them because I can't see the holes in them. They're that thin. Right. So I can imagine if you very carefully push that in. But I also think you'd probably have to cut it down. So cut it down so it's just to the tip. And then insert the
just
tip
the tip is the important part.
Yeah. But how did he get the lipstick from her and then do that and put it back? That was my question.
Yeah.
Because Reva mentions how she's friendly to Foxy Rob, but she wouldn't date him because he's a chub. Yeah, he is a chub. And she obviously knows nothing about him because he's dating her cousin. So...
It's Swiss cheese again. It's Swiss cheese happening again.
Yeah, I don't know how he actually got the lipstick, unless she left her purse at the perfume counter, which is never there long enough.
She did leave her purse one time, so it's possible that she left it there many times.
Well, they keep saying how she leaves everything in her dad's office.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Can I say that I do
feel like a grilled cheese sandwich now?
Right, I know. I do appreciate Reva's decision to wear lipstick all the time because, as mentioned previously, I am a lipstick person. I do prefer a lipstick, and she rocks magenta lipstick, which is pretty fantastic.
It's also very 90s.
It really, really is. I have some. It's not from the 90s.
Your color.
Yeah, my color is magenta. If only I had red hair and a vial of blood and a white cashmere sweater, I would cosplay Reva. I'm going to cosplay Reva, just so everyone's aware. It will take me literally 2 seconds to cosplay Reva. Because you know what, friends? I do have red hair. I have a red wig. I have 1,000 red wigs. I have a beautiful sweater. And I have magenta lipstick. I'm going to be Reva.
You're going to recreate the cover?
Yes.
Or you're going to look into a carton? A giant carton? Find a dead body? Or a mannequin?
Maybe I will be inside the carton. We'll just do a mashup. It's hard to say, Claire.
Now, were you going to be murdered in the carton or outside
else?
The carton? I'm
going to let someone convince me to get in the carton and then murder. I think we have to. I think we should move on to favorite final thought quote. What do you have?
I'm just going to give you a couple.
Okay. I've got so many. I'm not afraid.
I'm just going to give you a couple.
Not ashamed of it. Okay.
You're a butthead.
Oh. So 90s.
Sure, I call my brother that quite a lot. What a hoot. I hope I'm not turning over a new leaf, she thought.
Hoot.
Promptness is such a boring virtue.
Oh, that's not a hoot.
It's not a hoot. What a hoot! What a laugh!
What a hoot.
What a hoot.
What a hoot.
What a hoot.
What a hoot. Is it my turn?
Yes.
Is it my turn now? Because it's such a hoot.
Such a hoot. So
It's such a hoot.
amuse me. Make me laugh.
This whole thing was cornball.
What the hell does that mean?
It's so corny. It's cornball. It's cornball. It's so cornball. It's cornball. Goodbye, Santaland. Goodbye, Christmas. Goodbye, childhood. Forever. We're criminals now.
What a hoot!
What a hoot! All that fear, all that worry, all that blood. And finally, my favorite one, always leave 'em laughing. What a hoot!
What a hoot!
Hoot! It's hoot! Such a hoot.
Oh, dear me.
Is it time to play Would You Rather?
God, yes. Pew, 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 pew. We asked on social media, would you rather rob a department store or blackmail someone? The results aren't too surprising. On Facebook, 88% said they're going to rob the department store. On Instagram, 58% are robbing the department store. TikTok are 100% blackmailing someone. Wow. And on Threads, they couldn't decide. It's 50-50.
Ugh.
So yeah,
comments.
lots of potential criminal enterprises taking place. What a hoot! So we do have some comments. Katrina on Facebook. This is a tough one. I have no criminal expertise to draw on, so I'm not sure which would be harder to pull off. I'm voting rob a department store, as it's less personal than blackmail and seems closer to a victimless crime, so morally I'd feel better about this hypothetical theft. And I do appreciate the use of hypothetical and having no criminal expertise with her plausible deniability.
Yes, very good, Katrina. Very, very good. Coral on Facebook says, well, this time of year, I wish I could rob a department store. Plus, blackmail might take too long, and I need those gifts now.
Colin on Facebook said, I thought this one was going to be harder than it was. It's got to be rob the department store because blackmailing someone is just far too personal. I mean, threatening to reveal something secret about someone is just mean. If it's that good a secret, just tell everyone. Don't hold it over their heads. Whereas robbing a department store has no real victims if you do it right. Nighttime, balaclavas, rope, a well-constructed and timed plan. Basically a normal Saturday night but with less spanking. And that's just crying out to be called a heist, which just makes it so much more fun. Right, I'm off to John Lewis with a grappling hook to sing Swinging on a Star. And I've been singing that song for about a week now. This is weird. Hudson Hawk is an underrated movie.
It's very good. But it's no Arnold Schwarzenegger movie.
It's not an Arnold Schwarzenegger
I mean, I know
movie.
that Bruce Willis is also great, but
They are two different calibers.
they are. They are. Joe Roland Author on Instagram says blackmail, because that means the person probably did something wrong. And if I rob a department store, then there are innocents involved. This way, I have a better chance of staying on Santa's nice list.
Brie Tart on Instagram said, oof, I need my crime to be as unflashy as possible this time of year. Blackmail all the way. Maximise the drama of the holidays to its fullest financial potential.
It's fantastic. What are you going to do?
I'm I'm going to rob the department store, but I'm going to do it the way Sandra Bullock does it in Ocean's 8. She's classy.
Yes, I mean, she's very
classy.
She's very classy.
It's very overt. It's in your face. And is it robbing the department store when basically they give you the bag to carry it out with?
No.
See? Fine.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I think I'm gonna do a blackmail, but I'm gonna wear a pantyhose.
Yes.
Yeah. No, I think if I did a blackmail, I would not drag the person who I'm blackmailing off the sidewalk in the middle of the night and confront them without a pantyhose and then push them into traffic. Like, that's not good blackmailing, Mitch.
No.
It's not the way you do it. You got to be smart.
Not blackmailing 101.
No, got to be smart about it.
Yes.
So, yeah, I think I'm going to do a blackmail, but I'm going to be intelligent when I do it.
Okay. That's good.
Yeah.
I'm glad I've got absolutely no secrets from which that can be blackmailed.
Right, yeah, I got nothing. I don't know. Not very interesting.
See, my problem is I just start talking nervously and just speak too much, so nothing. No secrets. I'm boring. Damn it.
It's fine. I feel like we reveal all of our secrets that we would ever have on the show. So if
it's all on the internet, exactly.
It is. So.
Yeah, sucks to be you, blackmailers.
Let's see. Let's move on to our next question. Oh, what a hoot. Would you rather be called drippy, or a wimp, or a chub, or a worm? All really great 90s insults here. Which one would
I've
you
had
prefer?
chub, so I don't need that again.
No.
There's a 90s childhood trauma for you. I've probably had wimp as well. I want to go drippy because I'm like, it makes no sense.
Yeah, I do like drippy. I think drippy will be my answer as well. However, I just really wanted to make it into a Twilight, like, look, Bella, it's a worm. I wanted to make it into that somehow, but no, it's drippy. It's drippy. Gotta be drippy.
Yeah.
Drimpy, I think I said.
Ooh,
it's a combination of wimp and drippy. Drimpy.
Drimpy.
Drimpy. I'm gonna be drimpy. Oh, so drippy. Drippy Lissa. She's so drippy. You're such a drip.
What a hoot. She's such
What
a hoot.
a
She's such a
hoot.
drip. But then
She's
saying somebody's a drip, you drippy, could be. It's like saying that it's like one of those where it could be taken as a positive or a negative, you know. Where you say somebody's salty, do you mean that actually they're being salty because they're being rude, or they're salty because they're being sexy? It depends on the time period in which the word is being spoken.
Well, this is the 90s.
Context.
Booyah! It's the
Booyah,
90s, yo.
it's the 90s, yo. I'm going to be drippy.
I'm also going to be drippy. And I don't think that that's a compliment, but you know what? I'm just going to make it into one.
Yeah?
It's like I'm dripping with, you know, sparkles and...
I'm dripping with Riz.
No. What?
Oh, I don't know.
No.
I'm not down with the kids anymore.
Me neither. What are we supposed to say? Skibbity toilet? The fuck does that mean?
What the fuck?
It's what kids are saying these days, Claire.
I genuinely have...
Skibbity toilet. No fucking clue what that means.
Skibbity toilet.
Yes.
God, I'm old.
Oh, I can't wait. Oh, Claire, I can't wait until there are books that are on the same caliber as Fear Street that are coming out and they use the words skibbity toilet. So we'll be like, in 40 years, when we're still doing Fictional Hangover, because we will be, when, you know, we're 80 plus, we're like,
84 years!
Would you rather be called skibbity toilet or
would you rather have
Riz?
I still don't know what skibbity toilet is.
No, I don't know. Move on. Move past it.
I don't feel like I can. Would you rather send someone a lipstick with a needle in it, or a vial of blood, or a mannequin in a carton?
I think vial of blood. Just
don't ask questions.
Just because of, yeah, I mean, all vampires all the time. And we've clearly explained where we acquire the vial of blood. So I'm going to say vial of blood.
The temptation is to send a mannequin in a carton just to find out what the fuck is going on with the carton. But yeah, you got to do vial of blood. Got to stay on brand.
Yeah, definitely not the lipstick.
No, that's terrible.
That's terrible. That's actually horrible.
That is genuine harm. Like violent act against someone.
Yeah. So don't do that.
No, that's not for lols.
Would you rather be in the getaway car for the 7-Eleven robbery or the department store murder/robbery, which, excuse me, Claire, we did not talk much about the getaway of the 7-Eleven, and it involved driving on two wheels on the sidewalk and narrowly avoiding trash pickup trucks and driving down alleyways. We didn't discuss this at all, which I feel like we should have done.
I feel like to get a full full value of that conversation, I'm just going to refer people to our Midnight Sun conversation about the car scene.
Yes.
It's
about
basically
throwing
the same
a
thing.
Subaru across the interstate.
Yeah, it's basically the same conversation, except with more
You're right.
drippy, wimp, chubble worm words thrown in.
Yes.
It was
agree.
drippy.
It was so drippy. It was drippy.
4 reels with a Z. I'm going to say, as an answer, coming back to reality, the department store murder/robbery, because it was hardly a getaway. They just pulled off and then drove.
Yeah. They drove slowly. I mean, Pam was freaking out
because fair enough.
She was the driver, but we're not asking if you want to be the driver. We're not asking if you want to be Pam or Clay. We're just asking if you want to be in the car.
Oh, well, if I'm just going to be in the car for fun, then I'll do the 7-Eleven.
Really? That's more dangerous. You're gonna be thrown across the interstate in a Subaru.
Yeah, but I know I'll survive at the end, so it's fine.
Oh, okay, yeah, sure. Well, if we know that we're gonna survive at the end, then yeah, I'll join you in that. I'll join you in the 7-Eleven escape.
We'll be like, whee!
Yes. Yeah, okay.
We'll get
always bringing it back to Twilight.
Yeah.
Perfect.
All
Perfect.
Twilight all the time.
All Twilight all the time.
Oh, we've got one more, don't we?
Yep.
Okay. Eureka, you're an asshole.
Fuck.
You're wearing a white cashmere sweater.
Um.
Yeah. You totally ignored your little brother.
Yes.
Would you rather tell someone to dress fancy but they're really working in the stockroom, or tell someone they're working in public relations but they're really a store Santa?
You know what? I'm going to go with public relations and store Santa because that's true. You are relating to the public as a Santa. So I would feel less bad about lying about that one, I guess. But, like, dressing fancy for the stockroom, that was just harsh. That was just mean.
That was so mean. You know, she's in a lovely outfit for the 90s and heels.
Shoulder pads. Out
Shoulder
to
pads.
here.
Oh, whew. It's the fact that everybody else just laughed, and I'm like, no.
No.
And I can understand where you might be annoyed that you're the store Santa, but actually it's a pretty cushy job.
Yeah, and like, no matter what you showed up to work in that day, you're gonna have to change into a Santa outfit. So it's not like Lissa, who has to go and lift boxes in her high heels and her shoulder pads out to here.
Yeah.
Because Foxy Rob's gonna have to change clothes anyway.
Yeah.
He's not gonna be business suit Santa.
I mean, you could, I suppose, but that's more of a corporate setting.
Yeah.
I'm so glad I do not work retail anymore after reading this book again.
I know, it's horrible.
I hate retail.
Yeah.
Anybody who works retail, no matter what time of the year, all kudos to you.
Yeah. Heroes.
Don't shout at people who work in retail as well.
No, please don't do
person to
that.
them.
Don't be a garbage person.
It's a shitty job half the time.
Yeah.
And as I always say, if you work in customer service, customers make the job horrible.
They do.
And the customer's not right. If you ever say that,
no.
just go and flush your own head down the toilet. 90s style. Go give yourself
get
a swirly.
A swirly. Yes. What's the actual end of that? The customer is always right in matters of taste or something like that? It has an end to it, but people always leave that off because it means that they're right, not what it actually is.
It is. Yeah. The customer is always right in matters of taste.
Yeah.
Attributed to Harry Gordon Selfridge.
So that means that they like what they like, and you shouldn't be horrible to them because they like what they like, right?
Yeah.
Not they're always right no matter what.
In terms of service and ability and... Yeah.
Yeah. All right. If you liked this, try this. What are you going to suggest?
I struggled with this one.
I didn't.
Well done, you. Instinctively, I wanted to recommend Secret Santa by Andrew Schaefer, which we covered Christmas
last
episode.
Year? Yes.
Yeah, 273.
Yeah.
Because, it has a bit of a history thing to it, and it was fun. Was it set in the 90s? I think it was partly.
Maybe.
But then I was like, yeah, let's see if there's something else. And it's not Christmassy at all, but it does have some not tenuous links. It's not a horror. It feels like it's one of these stories that you would have read in the 90s, like babysitter style club kind of things. And it's called The Mall by Megan McCafferty. The year is 1991. Scrunchies, mixtapes, 90210 are like totally fresh. Cassie Worley is psyched to spend the summer after graduation working at the Parkway Centre Mall. In 6 weeks, she and her boyfriend head off to college in NYC to fulfill the plan. Higher education and happily ever after. But you know what they say about the best laid plans? Set entirely in a classic monument to consumerism. And it follows Cassie as she finds friendship, love, and ultimately herself in the most unexpected places. So it's a coming-of-age story, but I like the fact it is exclusively set in the mall, a little bit like Mallrats, which we all like.
Yes.
And yeah, it felt very appropriate. So I'm going to go with that one.
Okay.
What have you
I
got?
like it. I like
What was your
it.
very easy recommendation?
My very easy recommendation is The Fear by Natasha Preston. And I feel like Natasha Preston is like present day RL Stine, cranking out these horror books that everyone seems to really, really love. But, like, they're not top-notch, 100% high-quality
Is there
literature.
some cheese sandwich situation?
Yes and no. So I have read 2 Natasha Preston books in my life, and the first one was The Haunting, and it felt very like Scream. I Know What You Did Last Summer sort of thing.
Yeah.
And this one that I'm going to recommend is The Fear. Okay? And I chose this one because it's set at winter time, and it just straight up feels like a Fear Street. They're fun.
Okay.
They're fun. Okay. I just finished this one like last week. Don't be afraid. Be terrified. It's just a stupid meme that's going around their small fishing town in the dead of winter. People reposting and sharing their biggest fears. But when her classmates start turning up dead, dying in the way they said scared them the most, Izzy knows it's no joke. With each death hitting closer to home, Izzy sets out to try to stop the killer. Could her older sister's friend Tristan have something to do with the deaths? He's given her some strange vibes. Or what about his brooding cousin, Axel? But he's in her classes at school. He's not a murderer. Is he? Izzy's soon on a path that will lead her right to the killer and her own worst nightmare.
Trypophobia.
Ooh, how are you going to be murdered by holes?
I don't know, but it freaks me out, and I keep talking about it and freaking myself out.
Wind chimes. How are you going to be killed by wind chimes, me?
They'll
Stabbed
wrap around
with
your
them?
throat. And then as the ting, 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 and then you dead. Tinkle, tinkle.
Ooh, I hate it.
Something
Hate it.
in the walls.
Oh.
No, it'll be a fucking peacock, won't it?
It will be. It will be a peacock. No, Claire, I figured it out. I figured it out for you, Claire. It's going to be a peacock in the walls who comes out and pokes you in a million times with its beak, and you are covered in holes.
And then it sneezes on me, and there's just snot everywhere.
And that also happens.
Blah.
Uh-huh.
No, I know what's going to happen.
How? Can it be any better than that?
I'm going to open the fridge, and there's not going to be any cheese in the fridge. And then I go to the coffee caddy to make myself a coffee, and there's no coffee.
Oh, no.
So I try to make a tea, but
And
the
then
last
you just
tea
die.
bag bursts, and then I just die. Sadness.
Oh, no. And then you just die. You just die.
Yeah. If sadness.
All right.
In sadness.
Yeah, okay.
And then suddenly the giant ostrich bursts through the walls and starts pecking
It's an
at me.
ostrich now and
The
not a
ostrich
peacock.
now. Whatever. Giant birds. Fuck them. Fuck them.
It's amazing. It's amazing.
I've lifted my feet off of the ground for some unknown reason, but I do that when I'm like, ugh.
Yeah.
Okay, right, let's move on. Let's go to the new and indie spotlight while I, cry quietly in the corner.
Okay. This new and indie spotlight doesn't really have anything to do with anything we've been talking about, but it sounds fun, and the description that we got of the author, it just made me really happy. This book is Sovereign by A.J. Whitney, and it comes out in February, and the description of the author is she's a high school teacher, and she teaches kids to embrace their weird. I was like, yes, 1,000 times yes. We want to promote her material. So, Sovereign. Number 332 is living to be sacrificed. A teen with no name, she and 9 other orphans will be left in the fields as gifts, and the town will be blessed with a decade of bountiful harvests, just as they have for the past 3 centuries. But after so long, even the town elders begin to question the decennial sending and the very existence of the gods they worship. What will happen to the isolated little village if they stop believing? 332 could have a life of her own, not one promised to the unknown sovereign. And yet, maybe the legends are true after all. Maybe the scrawled message that sealed 332's fate, along with the hundreds of others who came before her, is still to be heeded every 10 years. It just sounds so creepy, and
that sounds really weird. I like it.
I love it. It sounds so fun. So everyone look forward to Sovereign coming out in February of next year.
That sounds really good.
Right? It sounds creepy, and it sounds culty, and maybe somewhat fantastical. I don't know, but I'm here for it.
Oh, I think it sounds awesome.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's it for this episode of Fictional Hangover. Oh, that's the last episode of the year?
Oh my god, bye-bye 2024.
Goodbye 2024. We'll see you again in 2025.
With our new book club themes and book club read.
Yes, so much stuff. So much stuff is coming soon for you. Okay. I'm Amanda.
I'm Claire.
Join us next time as we discuss Full Speed to a Crash Landing by Beth Revis. Look out for our Would You Rather polls and monthly challenges on social media. Don't forget about our book club on Discord, which is revived. Vampire Book Club, everyone. You know how much we love vampires, so join us in our discussions. Be sure to visit our shop on Redbubble at fictionalhangover.redbubble.com for all your favorite Fictional Hangover-themed merchandise, including Vampire Book Club t-shirts featuring my own mouth on your bosom. And become a patron of ours on Patreon at patreon.com/fictionalhangover. Until next time, remember, the only cure for a fictional hangover is another book.
Booyah.
What a hit!
Booyah! What a hit! It's a hit.
What a hit! It's such a hit! It's a hit!
You can find us at fictionalhangover.com and follow us on all social media at Fictional Hangover. If you like this episode, check out our others and be sure to rate, review and subscribe so you don't miss out. Thanks for listening.